Hi there, it's Michelle DeGarrett, and I come on to provide tools and resources for women to be awesome sauce, amazing divas, driven, inspiring, victorious, and called to action in all areas of their lives. And I wanted to come on and have a really quick conversation about anxiety and specifically panic attacks for those of us that have anxiety. I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and I mentioned that I had been having panic attacks the entire day. And I just was at the point where I was like, you know what? I'm done with this day. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night and rest and relax. And she was like, wait, pause, rewind. How is it that you have been having panic attacks all day long when I've seen you do all of these things? Like, I'd gone live, I had a meeting, I just been out and about living my normal life. And unfortunately, for many of us that deal with anxiety and have panic attacks as a part of their anxiety, regular panic attacks, that's our life. That's what we do. It's not comfortable. It's not easy. I do know that it impacts my mood. I have to be very, very careful of the conversations that I'm having or the interactions and engagements that I'm having during those time periods, because I get a little extra snappy. I may behave a little undiva-like, and I acknowledge that, and I will typically let people know, hey, today's not the day. I need to regroup, refocus, and we will come back to this conversation, or we'll come back and deal this. But if I let anxiety run my life, I wouldn't get anything accomplished. I wouldn't be able to show up for myself. I wouldn't be able to show up for my children, for my husband, for my business. I would be probably curled up in a little ball, just bawling my eyes out. And I want to encourage those that deal with this on a regular basis that you're not alone. Like, I feel like a broken record because I say that so often, but I just want to make sure that you know, because when you're in that moment, when you're having those anxious thoughts, it's so easy to believe that you're the only person that can be experiencing, what feels like these absolute crippling thoughts and feelings and emotions, and you're not. And if you need to just take a break and go and call it a day and get some rest and just say, you know what, I'm done with the day for right now, there's absolutely positively nothing wrong with that. If you're in a position to where you can't, you have to function, you have to be able to put one foot in front of the other and show up for yourself, because you have kids, you have a job that's depending on you, a deadline. There were certain conversations and things that I had to do because they just didn't need to be put off. And again, I know myself and I know how my body reacts. Me going and lay down wouldn't have done anything. It actually probably would have made things worse. I do have medication that I can take when my panic attacks get to be too much. However, I try not to take that on a regular basis because the crash that comes afterwards is horrendous. Like, if I take that, then I knew that I would not be of any good or any use to myself or anybody for probably 2 days, because I would have to get all of that out of my system, and it makes me sleep like deep sleep. And there are things that I need to do. There are things that I want to do. And so I practice different things, to coping mechanisms to do it. So I practice my deep breathing, even when it feels as though it's not helping. In my mind, I know my mind is telling me this is not helping, but as long as I'm focused and continue to doing it, it does help. So all of those, the resources, the tools that I was taught, I had to relearn this stuff. I had to relearn how to cope and how to behave and react in stressful situations. And so doing my deep breathing, pulling out my self-soothing kit so that I'm able to ground myself with my five senses, changing my scenery, stopping and talking out loud to myself, using positive affirmations, all of the things that work for me that I've had to try in different situations. And that sometimes is the hardest thing, is that when you're in the middle of a panic attack, you're like, I don't want to try none of this stuff. However, because I pre-planned and I know how, I know the feelings when they're coming up. So as I was sitting yesterday morning, I could feel them coming on, and I just knew that I was in a stressful situation, but it was a stressful situation that I couldn't avoid. So right then and there, that's when I started doing, my breathing, and I just, closed my eyes, count to 10, and I know the people around me were like, what in the world has she got going on? I don't care about them. I care about me and my overall well-being, and just making sure that I can be the best Michelle that I can be in that situation, even if I can't fully control it. And so I've already come up with my next Monday moments of truth, and it's going to be talking about giving people grace. And it seems like at the beginning of this week, when that dropped into my spirit, the Lord was like, well, let me just go ahead and give you all all kinds of different scenarios, so that when you have your moment of truth, you can really have some moments of truth about just how important it is to give others grace. But most importantly, how important it is to give myself grace, and to recognize and realize that, this is a journey that I'm on, and I'm still learning, I'm still growing. And when those moments where I feel like I'm totally out of control, to lean on Him and realize that He is in control. Not saying that He is the reason why I'm having these attacks. I don't place blame of the way I feel and the depression and the anxiety. I don't place that blame on Him. I know that He can comfort me, though, and I know that He can continue to lead me in a place where I will connect with people. I will get the resources and knowledge and information I need, so that I can continue to show up. And even when I'm having panic attacks and I'm in that, my brain is racing, I'm still able to do an entire video and talk about it. Like a year ago, I would not have been able to do that. So finding the things that are necessary for my growth, so that I can help myself and prayerfully help someone else that's on this journey as well. And so I hope you have an amazing day. If you have any questions, if you deal with panic attacks and there are certain things that work for you, definitely feel free to comment below, so that we can continue to support each other. If you're just like, I don't get this, I don't understand this stuff that you're talking about, I would love to hear it, because those kind of dialogues really do help all of us to grow and to learn and to become more knowledgeable and understanding about the journey that each of us is on. And if you know of someone, if you have someone in your life that is dealing with this, I hope this helps you to be a little bit more understanding and compassionate towards what it is that they're going through. We can't control the thoughts in our head, and we wish that we could. We really do. However, with time, with the right community, with the right support system, we are able to manage it better and to show up in a better way. But there's just some days where we can't, and we can't explain why we feel the way we feel. We just know that's how we feel. And so rather than laying blame and saying, well, if you've done this, done that, just be a little bit more compassionate and give them some grace. All right. You have an amazing, amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.